Hello, and welcome to Math 009. My name is Tom Ewing, and I am speaking to you from Misawa Air Base in Japan, and I will be your instructor for this course. Math 009 is pre-algebra. It is not your real algebra course. It is not your real algebra course in the sense that it will not satisfy any of your degree requirement, nor will it transfer to another university. Your real algebra courses in University of Maryland are Math 103 or Math 107. Both of these will satisfy degree requirements, and both of these will transfer to another university. The reason that you're taking Math 009 is so that you can get a good grade in Math 103 or Math 107, whichever one that you choose. Here you will learn the fundamentals. We will polish up your arithmetic, do some algebra, and introduce you to some graphing. When you get to these real algebra courses, you may be able to follow those concepts, but you may not be able to finish any one test problem simply because you lack the arithmetic skills or the simple algebraic skills. So even though you understand the material in these real algebra courses, you may not be able to pass them because you don't have a solid foundation. That's the purpose of this course. We want to give you a solid foundation to go into these courses there. What is important in this course is not the grade that you get here. What is important is the grade that you get there. The only purpose of this course is for you to learn. So the emphasis here is on what you learn. However, your grade in this course will affect your GPA. That is about the only thing that it will affect. So if you do want to have improvement in your GPA, then you can pay attention to your grade here. Otherwise, what you want to pay attention to is what you learn here. Now, you're not going to learn by reading this book. And since this is an online course and not a face-to-face course, it's very difficult to learn without a teacher. For that reason, we make a teacher out of YouTube. Each week we will give you a list of videos that you are required to look at, that we have selected. Then you are required to select one of your own on that week's material. Then you are required to critique a video that your classmate has selected, so that you get some input from a human being about this material. Still, you're not going to learn by watching YouTube videos. The only way that you're going to learn to do math is by doing math. It's a skill. It's like muscle memory. You have to internalize it. And for that reason, in this course, even though it's an online course, we will assign a lot of homework problems, because that is where you will learn the material, and only there. It's a homework that's more important than anything else. It's the homework that you will learn what you need to get the grade that you want in these later real algebra courses. Each week you will be assigned a good number of homework problems from this book on that week's material. I will collect those homework problems from you at the end of each week. Now, I will not grade them for correctness. I will only grade them for completeness. If you have attempted all of the problems and completed most of them, you will get 100% on next week's homework, and then we will go on to the next week. Now, later, when you decide which of these two courses to take, it depends mostly on what your major is. For most majors, Math 103 will satisfy your major requirements. It will also give you entry into Stat 200 if you need to enter there. However, if you have a major that's more technical, such as science or computers, then you might need to take calculus courses. And Math 107 is the only one of these two that will permit you to go forward to the higher math courses. So if you are in this type of a major, then after you finish Math 009 and decide where you want to go next, then you want to base that on what your degree requirements are, and you can see your Maryland counselor to straighten that out. Now, if this is your first use of WebTyco and you're not sure how to use it, then you definitely want to head down to your Maryland field office and get instruction. That is what they're trained to do, and that is what they're there for. So learn how to use the tool. Now, if you're going into Math 107, there is another course after this one called Math 012, which you will also take prior to entry into Math 107, or you can take the placement test and go directly into Math 107 if you care to. So that is where this course, Math 009, leads to. Now, this being an online course, there are not the 5 hours of face-to-face instruction. You can tell that I'm at an F16 base. There are not the 5 hours of face-to-face instruction that we have in our classroom courses. So for that reason, you will be spending 5 hours a week by self-discipline on reading the book and watching the YouTube videos. And after that is when your real learning starts, because it doesn't acquire any learning by watching someone else do it. The only place your learning starts is after you close the book or after the video ends, because you only learn by doing. This is why college courses are based on the 2-for-1 rule. If you go to a stateside university, full-time student, they will only permit you to sign up for 15 credit hours a week, 15 class hours a week. And you say, well, that's silly, 15 hours is not full-time. But every college course is designed on the 2-for-1 rule. It's expected that you will spend 2 hours out of class for every hour in class in order for you to learn the material that you saw the instructor do. And if you don't spend that 2 hours, you're not ready for the next class. It doesn't mean you're slow. It's built into the design of the course. That's where the learning takes place. So if you're in class 5 hours a week in Maryland, if you multiply that by 2, you get 10 plus the original 5. So you are promising me that you've got 15 hours a week to spend on this course just by having signed up for it, because that's what it will take. Now, if you don't have those 15 hours a week, you do want to try to rearrange your life to get it. If you can't rearrange your life to get it, then of course you can continue in the course and I will support you because I recognize the obligations that you have. However, you have to expect disappointing results, both in the grade that you get and the amount of learning that you come out with. There will be some concern on your part, I know, as to how your grade is going to be determined, even though the important feature of this course is to prepare you for the next courses. You still want to have your GPA as high as possible, therefore you want to get the highest grade in here. So there will be 3 tests in here. The tests are non-cumulative. We will study for 2 or 3 weeks, take a test, study another 2 or 3 weeks, take another test, and then a 3rd test. There's no final, there's no cumulative testing at all. We'll have these 3 block tests, and they will constitute 60% of your final grade. 20% of your final grade is going to come from the homework, and all you have to do is complete it. Not correctly, necessarily. So the importance of homework is reflected in the fact that 20% of your final grade comes from you completing the homework. The other 20% of your final grade comes from your conference participation. Each week you have to watch the required videos, you have to select your own video, and you have to critique a classmate's video. So that is the place in which your grade will be determined. Now, the way that I'd like you to communicate with me is by private message. And just to make sure that you know how to do that, I'm going to ask you right now at the close of this video for you to send me a private message that says that you saw this video. that accomplishes two things. One, it tells me that you read the class announcement and did what it asked you to do, that is, you looked at the video. And two, it shows me that you know how to use the private message. Now, it is your requirement and responsibility in here to frequently read the class announcements and also to frequently read your private messages. It's not optional, it's the way the course is structured. So you are required to frequently read all of the class announcements. Now, week 1 assignment conference has been deployed. If you go there, week 1 conference, the first topic that you will see, it will be called a student forum. It is in the student forum that you can ask your classmates questions about life, divorce, philosophy, anything that you care to, or in particular you can ask them to help you with a certain homework problem. And they will ask you to help them with a certain homework problem. Or you can turn them on to any other very good references or sources of information that you have found. Or you can exchange any information, recipes, or good movies, or things that you care to with your fellow students. Also, in the student forum, you can address a question to me. If you're stuck on a problem, then that's the place to ask me, because when I give you the help there, it's also visible to all of your other classmates, as opposed to a private message. Also there, you will see the list of videos that you're to watch for the first week's material, and you'll see instructions on how you are to select your own video. You will also see the first week's assigned problems, and you are to actually do those problems on paper. Now, at the end of the week, I will collect those problems from you in the following mode. One, if you have access to a scanner, then I want you to scan in your homework pages. Now, most of you don't, so the substitute way to do it, which is very easy, quick, and works very well, is just to take your mobile camera, your iPad, or your digital camera, and simply take photos of your homework sheets. And then what you do with these photo images is that you send them to me. Now, I will post another video that shows you in detail how to prepare this assignment and send it to me. This is how we're going to do week's 1 homework submission in the manner that I've just described, by sending in images to myself. There is a website which is called WebAssign. And on this website, they will give you homework problems to do that are taken from this book and related to this book. So an alternate way for you to do your homework, rather than doing it on paper, photoing it, and sending me the images, is for you to do your homework assignments directly in WebAssign. Now, for this reason, in the week 1 conference, there are a couple of topics that require you to explore and familiarize yourself with this website called WebAssign, because we will use it in week 2 and 3 as the means by which you submit your homework. So in week 1, you should be getting a little bit familiar with it. Now, after you submit your week 2 and week 3 assignments by WebAssign, then I will give you a choice for the remainder of the course, whether you want to revert to taking photo images of your homework pages and sending them to me, or whether you want to continue using WebAssign. The choice will be yours. And you can go back and forth between the two as the weeks go by, as you care to. Now, the reason that I don't just go ahead and say continue using WebAssign is that after the first 2 weeks, it's no longer free. They are a business, they are a company, they need to eat as well as anyone else. So after the first 2 weeks, if you want to continue with WebAssign, they will ask you to pay them $75 to so do. The choice is entirely yours after you have experienced both WebAssign and the manual submission technique that we'll use in week 1. The choice is entirely yours which way you wish to continue. Both are very excellent ways. Both will serve you very, very well. So you simply make your own choice, depending on money, free time, and personal taste. So that choice will be made by you at the end of week 3. that sort of concludes the introductory remarks that I have to say right now. So my final word is that what you want to do is to immediately start doing problems. And week 1 conference is out there, and it's because it's only by actually doing problems that you're going to learn this material. That's it.